Funky Dawgz are one of the premier touring acts on the live music scene today. It is impossible not to enjoy yourself during a show as they play a contagious, upbeat mix of original music, hip hop, funk, and today's top hits with a brass twist. Emerging from Connecticut, they have toured internationally and have been featured in all corners of the live music scene. From playing sold out shows at Madison Square Garden as the horn section for Dispatch to Okeechobee to closing out the Peach Music Festival, their performances flow seamlessly from EDM festivals to jam band festivals. And today we have Mike Marsters and John Singngam. Hello, gentlemen.
Hey,
Thanks for
Mark.
having us.
Thank you for joining me today. So, Mike, you played sousaphone or tuba or what? Trombone? You play it all or?
Yeah. You can call whatever you'd like to, but the sousaphone tuba, I guess it's interchangeable. We did one time have one guest when we played a show up in New Hampshire that was very adamant that it was a sousaphone and not a tuba. But I'll go with either. But yes, it is the sousaphone, so you can't miss it.
You can't miss it, and it's a beautiful instrument. And John, you just percussion on drums?
Yeah, right now I play the trap kit, playing the four-piece kit on stage with the boys here. But multi-instrumentalist overall. But for this group, I focus on the drum set, and that's it.
I've noticed in some of your videos that you're on the drum set, and then there's also someone else doing some other percussion instruments, some kind of tall bongo type drums and stuff.
Yeah, we definitely have a lot of folks either sit in or have some rotating cast of members that come through in the spirit of kind of our band being New Orleans inspired. Anyone who has an instrument that wants to come sit in, that's kind of our MO. So a lot of those percussionists you might see, we had a few permanent members and then had other members just come sit in for that. But to kind of feel that Zydeco feel and all those things, we definitely have
Thank you.
percussion as well.
It all started about 10 years ago. And pretty much is everybody has at one time been a UConn student or
All of us are UConn alumni.
cool. And were you all in the band at UConn?
Yeah, we all met in the marching band. Mike was a music major for a little while there, but as far as the career path to us forming, that was really where the foundation was laid for us being at the football games every single Saturday, and then all the basketball games. But that was really where the rapport was kind of created as human beings first, and then post college was really when we started to kind of take it seriously around like, all right, this band can do something beyond the streets of stores. Let's try to go to New Orleans. Let's go international. Let's try to play other venues, even around the regional area or around the U.S. So we all have the shared DNA of being band geeks. So we're curating the reputation one step at a time to reform that a little bit for other folks.
One of the things that makes America so great is that we put some focus on the arts in grade school and everything. Do you ever imagine as a young kid in grade school bands that someday you'd be touring the world and playing your instrument?
Mike, you want to answer that? Also, why don't you just park, Mike?
Yeah, that's what I'm doing. I was trying to get better service. Sorry. Yeah, no, I think when I first started my instrument, it was about third grade, and I just had a numerous amount of teachers that had really inspired me and said, "Hey, you're pretty good at this. Like you should keep going." But it was a lot of classical music that at least I was learning in my upbringing. It wasn't until college that I really saw how many different types of music there are, especially for my instrument alone, too.
Hmm,
Um, and I think what each of us bring to the band is a little bit of what we grew up listening to, but also what we grew up playing. And so I think the combination of the six of us coming together and being able to go across the country and even over to Europe and play our music, it really is something that I don't think when you're a kid you realize how many bands and festivals and fans of music there are.
absolutely. How about you, John?
I mean, for me, I started playing drums because I couldn't start with guitar because my hands were too small. My dad was a musician himself, so he still plays. My now childhood home bedroom is just a full gamut of his recording studio and just tons of things. So I come from a very musical family. But in terms of just your original question about like, hey, did I ever imagine it would kind of get this far? I think all of us have that DNA where we had dreams to make sure we're playing music in some kind of way. Now we're blessed to have been given the opportunity to do it to the levels, to come to Green River pretty soon here on that Saturday to play. And yeah, I think there was no doubt in my mind I would be doing things regarding music. I'd never imagined in my wildest dreams some of these things would still be what they are now. Looking back at it in retrospective, being a band for over 12 years, coming on our 13th year here now, to do all the things we've done. But I think overall, it was kind of a no doubter for me that for sure music would be a part of my life, and just grateful for every opportunity, every single gig to continue to do it in the way we are. But yeah, me and Tommy share that DNA, especially in our band. He's a tenor sax player. If we didn't have music in our lives, I don't know what else I'd be doing.
I know what you mean. I'm not a musician, but I have to have music in my life. So I play it on the radio.
Perfect.
When the band is not playing shows, they're giving back to the community. Funky Dawgz aim to connect, engage, inspire, and rejuvenate music education in inner city schools across the country. What are some words of wisdom that you pass along when you go out to these schools?
I'll take that question. Most recently, we actually went down to Danbury Elementary School, I believe it was. And one of my former classmates, too, was the teacher there. So I want to give a shout out to Nicole Cardamone teaching the youth down there. And then John had just mentioned our saxophone player, Tommy. His mom is I believe, a paraprofessional there, right, John?
Yeah.
Yep. And I just think when you're seeing um, kids and their faces light up when they walk into the room and they're like, wow, what is that instrument? Or, oh, I play that instrument. It's really cool to see someone that's older than me playing my instrument and doing it very well. So I think when we go into these schools, it it's a little bit of a give and a take where while we're giving a great performance to them, we're hoping that they take just one thing from what we're playing and use that in their day to day, whether they're practicing or they're playing. There was one student that was playing trumpet, and he at the end of class he said, hey, can I play you a song that I had written? And we were like, absolutely. And giving the time to those students and showing them that, hey, if you continually play your instrument and you're inspired and you just want to use your energy in that way to play music, I think you can go a long way in the music field. Whatever, whether you're playing trumpet, whether you're playing oboe, xylophone, it doesn't matter. But getting out there and being a part of a community of brass instruments, as well as our drummer here, John, I think that's just really cool to highlight the instruments that you might not always see on a stage, such as a guitar or a bass player. Getting to see the sousaphone, getting to see a trumpet, that is hopefully inspirational to kids who look up to us when we go and play in schools.
I wish I had
Yeah, I
somebody
think,
coming out to my high school because I was not motivated. I loved the trumpet. I just didn't have the motivation to practice.
hey, practice makes better. Perfection's only for a couple of things in life, and hopefully that's food for most people. We want to make sure food's perfect for sure. But I think a lot of what we do from an inspirational piece, yeah, I think giving back is always it's a push and pull thing. Like Mike was saying, we get even more out of it than probably the kids do during those days, whether we're running our summer camp in the summers past, or the most recent event that Mike's talking about, Shelter Rock. But I think beyond the diversity of the instrumentation we have on stage, I think a big part of us too is how multicultural and diverse and representative our band has been, as far as just, I think for us, we want to always tell the kids, no matter what, continue to play. Of course, that's the first motivational thing of whether it be switching instruments or trying more instruments or just focusing on one or whatever. Having music as part of your life, like Mark, you're saying, just even spinning records on the radio, that's expression, that's art. Don't be afraid to express yourself. And when you close your eyes and you're listening to a band or you're seeing a stage live or whatever, you close your eyes, you don't even know what the people look like. But then when you do open your eyes, it's nice to see all the shades and hues that we imbue as far as our rich culture and our ethnicities and our backgrounds, but also just that we have a very diverse upbringing across the board. We all grew up in Connecticut, but from very different parts, and that's a notion unto which, you know, you go to one part of Connecticut can be very different from another part. Yet we're an amalgamation of all of the different components, whether it be our boys that live down in Stamford, or Mike's up in Enfield. I'm in Meriden. We got guys in Middletown, Waterbury area, Danbury, and Richfield, stuff like that. So that inspirational piece for them to see someone that maybe looks like them as well, but to understand that music is a language that translates across all borders, all languages, all things, and it can be something that brings us together and unites more so than divides.
Music is a universal language, no doubt. What's the largest crowd you've played for?
See, that's
I
technicality.
Go ahead, John. You got it.
I mean, Okeechobee is technically like 70,000, but were they all at our stage at one time? I guess you could say no. But I guess, yeah, the 20,000 people at 2 nights sold out at MSG, being the horn section for Dispatch, would be the biggest crowd that we sat in at. And then our own sold out shows more recently, like at the College Street Music Halls of the world and stuff like that, are shows unto which those crowds. But I think for us, it's just a matter of, doesn't matter if we're playing for 50,000 or 500,000, you always get the same brand of our music, the high energy, everything laid out on the table. Doesn't even matter if there's maybe, you know, 4 or 5 people that even intended to be there. I think it was a nice surprise for a lot of folks a couple of years back that came a little early for us that day to be on the main stage. Like, who is this band from one state away, but don't really know a lot about them? And I think we like to do that too, to kind of be that thief in the night a little bit. You came for the headliner, but we're happy that you came for the opener because you're our fan now.
Hmm, absolutely. And on the opposite end of the spectrum, have you ever been to a gig where the stage was too small to fit everybody?
Uh, hmm. You
Have
know,
you, have you ever been to the
I
stomping ground
the stomping ground. No, where's that located, Mark?
in Putnam, Connecticut?
No, I don't. Have we ever played there, John? It's not
Nah,
ringing
but
a bell to me.
I know Putnam. That's a fun area. I used to do a lot of work out there for my other job. I mean, earlier on, we definitely had troubles with smaller stages, just because that was the progression of our role playing game. You had to kind of start on those small stages. As far as like a real physical limit to not be able to hold us, we've always just made it work. I think in Philly we had to like set up in front of the stage as well, to accommodate just the grandiose equipment of the headlining band, but also just the people in general and the
Hmm.
stage layout. But thankfully, it hasn't happened recently, and we're sure it's not going to happen anymore.
Yeah.
From what I've seen, I saw you at the Green River Festival a couple of years ago. We were debating on what year it was, but um, so you're going to be at the Green River Festival again on Saturday, June 21st. And do you have any fond memories from when you were there before?
Absolutely. I thought the backstage area was phenomenal, and there were a lot of artists coming and going all throughout the day. But one thing that I just noticed right off the bat is everyone had a smile on their face, ready to play music. It helped that it was a beautiful day. I think we had like an artist liaison. Um, I'm trying to remember. I think it's like it was a duo. I think they were called the High Tea Band or
Yeah,
something Tea
yeah,
Band.
I
Yeah.
too.
And they were so kind to us, and they just kept coming up to us. Hey, do you need anything? We were like, no, but do you need anything? But I really enjoyed the backstage area, and I think when you're treated right as an artist, you give even more of yourself to the crowd when you're on stage. And I think just seeing the festival layout as it was our first time playing there back in 22, um, seeing how everything's run, it's a really awesome festival. And we've been talking about it like, oh man, we can't wait to go back to Green River because of the energy, because of seeing the smiles, and because of the reception that we got, even if we were playing I think the first afternoon and people were still coming in for the weekend. And a lot of people had said, oh man, I wish I had gotten here an hour earlier because I got stuck in traffic. And it's like, don't worry, we'll be back and we'll make sure to bring the energy the next time we're here too.
There is a lot of energy in your performances.
Appreciate that. And Colin, our sax player, and I think Chris, our trumpet player, and Aaron are still using those Nalgene's that they got that Mike's talking about from the hospitality piece. I think we're stoked to be coming back. Can't wait to play on Saturday for sure. The 21st can't come soon enough and everything like that. But for me, the fondest memory for Green River overall, I think there's a lot of music festivals in the world right now, and there might be one of those cases into which we were talking about COVID prior to you recording and everything, but like there's a little bit of an overcorrection to the culture of what a music festival imbues, and I think Green River hits all the notes that I always envisioned, or at least felt right from when I was a kid attending music festivals, or just even my preconceived notions just based on watching documentaries or just old VHS tapes of it. It's such a family atmosphere that's really built around the art, and there's other sections of the festival grounds that are adjacent to just the expression that we're talking about, whether it be sculptures or different art exhibits that I liked walking around and stuff like that. So I think Green River hits all the notes for everything. You have the big name acts coming in, including the Funky Dawgz, but you also have some maybe other people that are on the come up or on the rise, or just folks that are local heroes and favorites, and you have every single kind of flavor being presented. So at the end of the day, you've had a tasting of a lot of different things, but you've also got what you came to receive, and that's the give and take piece where I think Mike was talking about the culture around just the crowd that Green River gravitates or is gravitated to really is about sharing energy, and that's what music festivals are about. And in the world of influencer culture, we're happy that it's not one of those things that's a hype beast thing for people to just have to post on social media. I don't think I saw a phone in the crowd sometimes when I was playing, and that was a big part for me, where you're not recording on a 5x5 screen, you're recording it with your mind, and that's how we want music to be consumed, remembered, and to have that experience the last time we were there. Definitely stuck out for me, and now that we're even more mature, it's something that I appreciate for all of us growing up, because if we're ever going to have families, or we do have families like our trumpet player does now, it's Green River, one of those festivals that would be like, oh dude, that's exactly where we all should be, because that's the
Got to
energy
bring
that's
the
there.
family.
Yeah, and buy our shirts. We have to make them kid sizes now too.
The merch tent. They always have a merch tent. Yeah, that's cool. I know you guys got to go. But real quick, do you want to play a quick game?
Shoot.
Yeah. Hey.
It's called Lyrical Ponderings. I'm gonna give you a song title. The song title is in the form of a question. You can either tell me who sang the song or answer the question.
Okay. We'll give
Pick,
it our best.
all right, here we go. I'm just gonna pick a number randomly. Here we go. What's the matter with you, baby? What's the matter with you, baby? Who sang
I
that
don't,
song?
I don't know the artist, Mike. Do you know?
I should have picked a newer song for
No.
you.
No,
That
We
forgive
probably,
me. Is there
we
a
probably
hint
should know.
in there?
No,
Dang.
it's an old one. I should have picked a newer one for you. It's Marvin Gaye featuring Mary Wells from
Oh,
1964.
all right.
Anyways,
Now we gotta listen to it.
I'm sure it's a good song if it's got Marvin Gaye. Gentlemen, thank you
Absolutely.
for joining me today. I'm so psyched to see you on Saturday, June 21st at the Green River Festival. And I love Funky Dawgz. Just Funky Dawgz Brass Band is the full name, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, we use them both right now. We're just trying to shorten it for the ease of use for the masses that be. So the Funky Dawgz is great. Funky Dawgz Brass Band is great. Just the Dogs is cool too, but just don't be late for the set.
Good words. Well, thank you, gentlemen.